Hi, how are you today? This is JilliBling, and I have a project I'd love to share with you. This is a stamp set from the annual catalog, To a Wild Rose, and I've always liked it. I got it right away, and I haven't used it. I was looking through the dies, all of my dies, and I found the dies for this, and it's like, why haven't I used that? So I'd love to use it today, making this project. It's another fun fold. Isn't that beautiful? I'll be using the stitched nested dies and these little gems. Those are antique corner and slide elements, and we'll be just using the corners. The ribbon slides are great, and they'll be on some other project here really soon. You get 30 pieces, so I think it's 15 of each in each of these little containers. So I have this one, and I also have one done in Purple Posy, and the background papers are just slightly different. The leaf color is just a little bit different. I wanted to pick up the soft seafoam velveteen paper, so I wanted to put some of that in here, and I thought this one, let me try just the darker color, and it works beautifully. So on the inside of this one, a little bit extra coloring, but it's just so pretty, and the stamp set, the words in this are great. So here is the stamp set, stitched nested dies, and then To a Wild Rose. It's funny, these two dies are what pulled me to the die set, and I didn't even use them, but they're beautiful. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I have all kinds of stuff over here ready to roll. So, antique corner slide elements, I'm going to find a corner in here. I'll be using that. Now attach that with glue dots. This is for the hello. Let me get all these papers. Let's just start with the papers. We'll come back to all this other stuff in just a minute. Every little thing here, it means something, but we'll get back there in just a minute. So this die will be used for the velvet paper. And the velvet paper, oh, here we go. In the annual catalog, page 15 is the stamp set, and it's got great ideas. This is the velveteen paper, so you get soft seafoam, Highland heather, and cinnamon. And it's one-sided, and it is colored velveteen paper pack. So since the annual catalog ends in early May, get it quick. I don't want it to run out on you. That'd be great if there's like a teddy bear. All of these are really nice. I had no idea, but I knew I loved it, so I've had it for a while. Time to use. Ooh, look at these. Look how pretty that is. Okay. New ideas. And this is the, is it prized or pretty? Peony garden paper. And that's what we'll be using today. We'll be using these two prints, but it is in petal pink and granite gray. And there is a little bit of smoky slate in here, but this is just beautiful paper. I bought a lot of it. I think I used it last week too. Beautiful prints. Okay, so back to where we were. This is for the words, also the rose fits on here, and there is this fun little element. We'll cut a few of those out for each card. So I'm going to take out probably 2 of these papers, one for the rose and one for the, you know what, one for the rose, one for the leaves, one for the words, and the little spray of white flowers. Okay, so in here I have the 2 different papers. This one is more of a geometric shape type, still in the granite gray, and then the floral. I think they both go great. The back side of them is petal pink. Let's do the geometric one. I don't think you could go wrong. Okay. And I will have all the, ooh, here's one done. I'll have all the sizes and the paper colors, everything listed on my blog. My blog is JilliBling.com. Paper sizes and also all the products used. Soft sea foam, that's just a little inside layer. And here's the paper base. Okay, so let's start out by scoring the paper base. We'll be using all this stuff here soon. Here's the paper base. Not that you need a template, but sometimes it's just nice to have it in front of you. What sizes you're going to be scoring things to. So, score it at 3 inches and 7 1/4. So here is 3. And then 7 1/4. Sometimes it's nice to have a template just to line it up. And you could see that the score lines are in the correct place. Okay, so that's all that we'll be using the paper score trimmer for. So let's fold those. So I'll do a soft fold and then just confirm it with my bone folder. So when you're folding these, using the tool is great, but as I put these together I noticed that this is a little bit of a bow. So do what you can to make these two go right up next to each other. Okay, so it opens just fine. But if yours have a little bit of an overlap, this is a trick. Turn it inside out and chances are it will work perfectly. I don't know why that is. I think I cut my paper a little bit crooked. And it's okay if it isn't perfect. Okay, so there's that. Let's layer the designer paper on here and the inside soft sea foam. Just because I know there's no stamping on it, it's always nice to feel accomplished right away. I'm not going to put this in my inside white because I want to stamp on it first. So if I do a whoops, I still have the opportunity to flip it over and use the magic other side of the paper. Okay, so when layering this piece, according to the measurements that I've given, this piece goes on with, it's hard to tell with this pattern, just a little bit of a border all the way around it. You might be able to tell better with this one. See how there's a little bit of a border all the way around it? And the next piece, I'm going to have it go right up next to the edge. If I had it back with a little bit of a border, there'd be a big old gap here. So, and also when you're doing the geometric print, not so much when you're doing the floral, but when I cut the paper, I try to make sure that this line with the little dots in it is going to carry through. And there's one side that might look better than the other. Like this one here, I'm looking at this little dot down here with the line. It looks like it's a little bit higher, so I'm going to go with this way. And you know, in the end, I don't know that anyone would notice. So just do your best. It'll be fine. The card is so pretty. Okay, so that's done. Now let's put this inside soft seafoam paper in here. Perfect. Look at that. Looks like a card already. So this piece is going to go on. I need to run through on my velveteen paper this a little bit smaller die. Okay, your velveteen paper, it has a tendency to pick up stuff. I'd like to think I don't have that much lint through the house, but it has something on it. So if you have your adhesive remover, Just run it across and it'll pick up any little freckles of, I don't know what that is. I clean in here regularly. There's no reason for dust. Okay, that's good. So this velveteen paper has nothing stuck to it or stamped on it, so I'm going to stick it to the granite gray. But before I put that down, you have a few options. Not that you could really tell. First of all, notice the hello, the placement of hello. This is right in the middle of the nested stitch dies. And this one I have it down to the edge. This soft seafoam velveteen paper is perfectly centered in the granite gray. And this one I have it close to the edge. The placement of the antique corner is a little bit different too. So there's really no wrong. If you do choose to have all these pieces close to the edge, it will leave a little bit of a gap over here, but because we're putting the flower on, you don't even notice. So just because this one is a little bit different, let's do this one. Okay, velveteen paper, which cuts through my machine really good. Who knew? Okay, so purposely placing it, because I know the flower will be right here, so that these are right next to each other. And you won't see that. Let's stamp the words. And I like the word hello. And for these, I was having quite the time getting a good stamped image. So I took my little nail file and just gently went around the edge or on the polymer just to put little microscopic scratches in it so that it would hold the ink better. If you do it at your own risk. Don't do it too long. Maybe a little bit longer than I just now did it. But that will help the stamp, whether it be rubber or polymer, hold the ink a little bit better. And you do it just one time. You don't do it every time you stamp, just right after you get the set. I see all kinds of little freckles in there. I wonder if it's from the ink pad. For a while I was using baby wipes and they would leave fur fibers in my stamp pad. I'm going to test this first. Oh, that's just fine. Just fine. Hello, right in the middle. Okay. And I will cut this. But since I have the stamp pad out, let me stamp the flower and the leaves. And I'm using Memento ink because I want to color with the blends. And I have something to show you. A not so good result. I was so frustrated last night. Tony says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm being a little frustrated." He's like, "Why?" And you know, he's a guy. I don't know that he really cares or if he's just trying to be a good husband. But I showed him why. The stamp set, I'll show you. In just a minute. Let me stamp these. You know, I did have a good way for these to go on. So you could get 2 on each one. Okay, and the stems, they're going to cut out just fine. There's dies for everything. The stems are going to cut out just fine, but they get tucked underneath the flower, so you probably won't see them too much. Okay, so back to my whoops. Stamp set, beautiful. 3 different layers for the leaf. Detail, bold, little bit more detailed. So this one could be done in soft seafoam, and then this one can be done in maybe olive, and that could be done in black. The flower, whatever color flower you want. Do it in black, or maybe just like a heavier color. A little bit of detail, and then this one could be done in a lighter color. Okay, here we go. I didn't like it. So these I was doing in coral. This one I did in petal pink, and then I did it in coral. I didn't like it. So I tried it again, And this time I did the coral and I stamped it off for the lighter one, and then full strength in the heavier one. I didn't like it. I do like this, and I do like that. I think maybe I'm just a more blends person, and if you watch my videos before, you know I don't do abstract all that well. I find it challenging, so I'm sure it's just my problem. Okay, so where are we? We're going to cut these out and color them. Cut this out. Maybe down here I'll cut out a few of those little white detailed branches, leaves, things. Come here, corner, antique corner thing. But before I cut them out and magically color them, I'm going to use Poppy, Flirty for the flower center, Crumb Cake Dark, Soft Sea Foam, Light and Dark, and Mossy Light. And you know how I use my little handy color chart all the time. So I looked at it, what color do I want my flowers? And I landed right there at Poppy Parade. Then, looking through here, what would be another good color to throw on? And I thought Flirty Flamingo would be good. I thought that they would mix well together. Ooh, maybe one in magenta, that might be nice. But I use my little color chart all the time. If you want it, feel free to send me an email or message me and I will get it to you. So these are the dies. Oh, and we will do a little masking here in just a minute. This is the detail die just for the white little flowers. It's not baby's breath. I don't know what it is. It's pretty. That's for the rose. Cut out the leaves, and that is for the big granite gray stitch shape, but we already did that. Okay, so we're done with all of these until I cut stuff out. Okay, it's going to be colored. Are you ready for a little pop of wow? It's kind of loud, kind of bright. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? Okay, loving this. Okay, so let's start assembling the front. I'm kind of in awe. I didn't want it to look Christmassy, so I purposely used soft sea foam. At first I was going to use the darker colors, but it's like, that is outright Christmas. And all the other samples, I have it down low with the flower on the top. I'm going to try to shake it up a little, do something a little bit different. Maybe have the flower low. Give that a try. Okay, so assembly. Let's put this piece on. Not that it really latches, but it's going to act as a latch. So that, oh no, I'm going to try to do it a little different, a little bit higher this time. So I don't want adhesive where my fingers are. No adhesive right here. Maybe put more than you normally will, because it's only hanging on by half of the stitch shape. And I'm going to put this in the center. I'm making sure that this amount equals that amount. Okay, it's looking good. This keeps popping up. Stay folded down. There. And the flower, where should that go? How about right here? Which way is up? No. This can go, maybe this time right in the middle? No, I'm gonna have flowers over there. Maybe at the top. And put your adhesive on, and amazingly, it sticks to the velveteen paper just fine. Somebody did their homework. Okay, so this antique corner, I'm going to use glue dots to attach it. So I'm going to put the glue dot on midpoint on my frame, and yes, it is half off, but if I try to put the whole glue dot on, it would be hanging off this side and that side. So I'm going to choose, just hang off this side and then I'll fold it over. You could use liquid glue too if you like. So it's kind of hanging off. And I'm just going to fold it down underneath. So now it's hidden. If I put it in the center, I'd be folding both sides. Okay, so that's ready to attach. Should I put on hello or way out here? How did I do the other ones? I'll put it on the seafoam. I don't know. I don't think you could do wrong. When you fill your table, your Stampin' Table with pretty stuff, you can't do wrong. Okay, and how about some dimensionals? I'm going to attach the flower first. And normally I would put dimensionals, like 4 of them around the outside edges, but because I know I want to tuck the leaves underneath, I'm going to move my dimensionals a little bit more toward the center. Okay, and this can go maybe a little bit over the hello, but the stitch shape is so nice, I don't want to cover up too much of it. Okay, right there. Okay, bone folder. Okay, so now for the leaves. Okay, it has to stay on a little longer. Where should these go? And I'm fine with them bridging the opening. Oh, that's kind of pretty there. Oh, what about this? I like that. Oh, but the white next to the white. No, I think maybe down here. You know what? I'm going to do something different with that one. So this one, I'm going to use the leaves individually. This one has the little stem coming out, which is good. Oh, this one can have the stem. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay. I'm going to start attaching some of these things. I know I definitely like these down here because I have white there, now I have white here. Now I use a glue dot, put it underneath. So this is going to be my swap card. This month they say, let's make a fun fold. So here's my fun fold. It's fun. Mama is like, I can't keep doing these fun folds. This is hard. And she even hinted, I just don't think I could keep up. You should see what she's doing. She's doing a really cute fold. Okay, and now dimensionals under my leaf, my branch of leaves. Where did I have that? It looked really good. Right there. Okay, now these guys are going to be a little bit more tucked in, so off with most of the stems. And they will each get a dimensional on the back. I need to use up those edges, kind of getting in my way. Okay, so now I have 3 leaves ready to go. Oh, right there, that looks good. And good. Oh no, right here, it fell down. There it is. Okay, outside done. Don't you love that? Isn't that pretty? we have a good hobby. Stampin' Up is a good company. Okay, so this is done. So now for the inside. The inside, let's see, I used that big word blessed. Let me find the stamp set. Blessed and grateful. Blessed to know you. On one of them I used blessed to be your friend. That's so pretty. Okay, so I like a true friendship is one of God's greatest gifts. I have a lot of great girlfriends. I'm going to do that one with some flowers down at the bottom and some leaves. And I need to try to limit myself from stamping a million flowers. Otherwise, I'm going to be coloring all day. Not that I've done that before. Okay, so let's get to stamping using Memento. Perfect. Okay, and now the flower. So I'll definitely scooch over a little yellow flower. Definitely put one in the bottom corner. I'm going to spin it a little bit. Put one here. I want you to know it's a flower, but I don't want too much on there. Gives you a little bit of room to write. And then one right here. Okay, so next is doing the leaves. Here's the leaf stamp. And if you were doing leaves, if I do that, this leaf right here is going to cover my flower, so I need to do some masking. Also, I'm not so sure that I want that stem showing. Okay, so masking. I have a lovely blue Post-it. Right under here, under the ink pad, wouldn't you know. So here's my Post-it, and part of it is still sticky. And I stamped the flower on the Post-it, and I cut it out right on the black edge. You could use a mask and make it out of any paper that you have, such as you have Whisper White sitting around, but keep in mind the thickness of the paper. So a Post-it is plenty thin. And I say that only because if you used some thicker paper, such as basic white, if I were to do the leaf using the Post-it, thin paper, the image gets right next to the mask. If you were to do it using basic white, because white is just a little bit thicker, see how there's this gap? And sometimes the gap doesn't look good. If you were to use even a little bit thicker, such as, I don't know if you could stamp on velveteen paper. This is even thicker. See how there's a really big gap? So to avoid that, first of all, use thinner paper or pretend like this was a mask. Ooh, and you can stamp on that. Back the mask up so you could see the flower line art, which will mean that there will be a gap, but it should land right at the edge. No, because this is so thick, I would really need to back it up. I think it's just easier. Just use a thinner product for your mask, such as a Post-it. Okay, back to where we were. Here is my flower and little pointy edge. So I'm going to put a leaf or part of the branch right there. See how that got right up next to the flower? That's good. And then maybe another one, I turn this right over here. just to put a little bit of green in there. And I could keep going with more leaves, but that means a lot of coloring. Okay, mask is good. The mask is good until it gets saturated with ink. Then you need to make a new one or just wait for your mask to dry. Okay, so I'm going to color this and make these flowers poppy and flirty. I have one done. Are you ready? It's kind of loud. It's kind of pretty. Look at that. Look how pretty. Oh, yeah. Earlier this morning I got lost coloring. And I know I stamped too many, but it's so pretty. And as I was coloring them, I'm like, I shouldn't have stamped so many. But there's no denying, that looks like a bouquet of flowers to a girlfriend. So this is poppy light, poppy dark, poppy dark, poppy light, and flirty light. There it is. What do you think? So this is JilliBling. I'll put all of the products used on my blog, which is JilliBling.com. I'll put the paper sizes and the score marks. And if you can, give me a thumbs up. I do see them, so I know what you like. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, have a great day. Bye.